Alright, I got a tournament battle, and this is from Wilechase's tournament. This is actually round 2, and it's against AuraLegendLucario1. This is a new little team of mine. I just got around to making it, and I was like, you know what, I might as well use it for this game, so here it is. This is a Jolly Banded Star Raptor that I'm starting off with, and it is Jolly specifically for what you see now, Roserade, because it has to outspeed Roserade, and I don't want it to get to put to sleep. I have a strategy for this thing. I U-turn out, I go to Vaporeon to take the sleep every time, and then I go directly back into Star Raptor and just fire off a Banded Brave Bird, because I'm going to be faster. He's only going to get one layer of Toxic Spikes, and whether he wants to let that thing die or not, whatever comes in is going to take a beating from Brave Bird, with the exception of Skarmory and maybe like Magnezone and something like that. Unfortunately, he happens to have Skarmory. Thankfully, I see that it is not leftovers. It is Shed Shell, so I don't have to kick myself for not bringing Magnezone. It gives me a free opportunity to get in Heatran and bring up those Stealth Rocks. And Vaporeon, didn't know what to do, but I knew that I could bring in Kingdra with the threat of Toxic Spikes because of the Lumberry, and I also knew I had a 4 times water resist, and I'd be able to take whatever move he's got, whether it was HP Electric or Ice Beam. So he sends his Skarm as I sub, and I know he's going to Whirlwind. I'm not going to waste time Dragon Dancing. I'm just going to get as much damage on him as I can. And now Hitmontop comes in, and I wasn't worried about Brave Bird. I didn't think he'd do it. I actually expected him to Whirlwind again, so I just want a Rapid Spin because I want those spikes out of there. If I want to be able to bring Kingdra in again, I don't want him to get poisoned. And he's faster than me, and that really caught me by surprise. I checked Smogon, and I realized that is it's got to be a taunt Skarmory. So I'm going to send in Gliscor, expecting Brave Bird or Spikes or something of the sort, whatever it was, and I'm going to taunt him first so he can't do anything except Brave Bird. As Vaporeon comes in. Now, this is the only counter that I can see on his team to my Gliscor. I need to get this thing poisoned. Gliscor is going to take a huge hit from Surf, but if it's a Smogon set, which it turns out to be, I know I can live. I'll take a huge hit, but I'll live, and I needed that thing poisoned, and that was big. So I'm not going to let Gliscor die, because again, from what I've seen on his team, it's very, very important that I keep him alive. It'll be very useful. So I'm going to send in Vaporeon to take his Surf, and because he's taunted, I'm just going to try and burn turns of sleep and get this thing awake now, because Hitmontop is poisoned, so should Roserade come back in again, I've got something to block the sleep. So I send back in Gliscor stupidly, like so many narrators say. I didn't see that his taunt wore off, so I tried to switch Gliscor on an HP Electric to, waste his, or let him take damage from Toxic again. And then now that I know that he's going to fire off a Surf again, so I just go right back into Vaporeon. Now I'm going to try to burn turns to sleep while he wishes, Surfs, HP Electric, whatever. None of it's going to do much to my Vaporeon. I'm not worried about him switching in Skarmory or Roserade right now to take that wedge, even though I know he's going to. I'm just trying to maybe burn turns to sleep, see what happens, because as long as that Roserade doesn't have full health, then it's not a threat to me, because Staraptor can kill in one shot, Heatran can kill in one shot. It doesn't really matter. One layer of Toxic Spikes, I'm not too worried about that. I can still spin. He doesn't have a spin blocker from what I can see. I really doubt he does, even though I haven't seen his last 2 guys. But I knew he'd bring in Vaporeon right there, and I knew that he would just get destroyed, because that is a modest Specs Overheat, and that was great, because that is the single only real counter he's got to Gliscor, and really the only thing that can take Heatran hits to out of the way. Flygon comes in. I know it's going to U-turn. They all U-turn, but I couldn't risk losing Heatran, because look at this. He's got a 4 times weak right there. He's got that Roserade, and he's got Skarmory. I need Heatran. I couldn't risk that Earthquake, even though it was obvious it was coming. And right there, I just made probably the game-changing moment. That was the biggest risk I took all game. I decided to stay in on Scizor, hoping he wouldn't Bullet Punch and get my Roost, and I'm back at full health right now, so I'm just smooth sailing, because now he's got Skarmory in. He forgets about Taunt, which I'm carrying, and right now I've got a huge edge, and this is the point in the game where I stop taking a whole lot of risks, and I know that I can win this if I just hold out and play smart, so I'm just going to play conservatively. I see Porygon Z, and here's a perfect example of it. I could have switched into Heatran expecting the choice Ice Beam, but again, if he predicted that and did something else, I didn't want to risk it. I know Kingdra's useless. I'm going to sacrifice him. And now I know he's choice, and now I'm going to send in Heatran, because basically what it amounts to is if I get Heatran in on anything that can't hurt me, something on his team is going to die, because there's nothing that's going to take a Specs Overheat now. So it's only really a matter of time, and I just got to get enough switch-ins. And now he's going to try Stone Edge, which again, he's really got nothing that can hurt this Gliscor. So I'm just going to do my best, and not take any risks at all. It's boring. I hate it. It's like roost stall, but it's what I got to do. It was a tournament battle, and I really didn't want to screw this one up now that I had the kind of lead like I do right now. So I'm still afraid of an Ice Beam. I'm afraid that he's going to predict Heatran now. So he does that hidden power fighting, which means I could have stayed in with Gliscor, but again, I'm not risking anything. I'm going to sacrifice Vaporeon because I don't need it anymore. All I really need alive is Gliscor and Heatran, and I'm not going to risk it. And here I decided to go back into Gliscor, both if he wanted to bring Skarmory in and because he was locked onto Thunderbolt. It was a win-win for me. Now he sees the taunts coming, but now he's going to be forced to Brave Bird, and I'm just going to sit in here again because he's going to kill himself from recoil. And if I get low enough, I'm going to Roost. I'm going to keep Earthquaking in the meantime in case he wants to try and bring in that Porygon 2 again. I'll just kill it faster, even though it's going to die eventually from Stealth Rock and Toxic, which is basically my strategy right now. Just wear down everything on his team with this Gliscor. Eventually his Porygon 2 will die, and that'll be my last real remaining threat for this guy. And in the meantime, I've got Vaporeon to switch into Sacrifice, and I've got Heatran to come in really whenever I need it to, and just have the huge threat of a Specs Overheat. So, Flygon comes back in. I try to Toxic it. Right now, he's outmaneuvering me. He's playing like kind of the opposite of what I'm doing. He's down. He's getting a little desperate at this point. He's taking a lot of risk. He's predicting my switches, like right here in a Vaporeon. He just used Thunderbolt when a Gliscor was out. That takes some. I don't know if I need to say that takes balls or if that's just the fact that he's backed into a corner. But whatever. Now I'm switching in Gliscor. His Porygon 2 is as good as dead. It can't switch into Stealth Rocks again. He doesn't have a spinner. I assumed he was going to stay in and just let Poison finish him off, but whatever. Now I've got a full health Gliscor. I'm going to continue doing the same thing. I'm just going to stall his Skarmory, and it takes itself down from Brave Bird, so that's fine and dandy. The match is basically mine now. I'm still going to play conservatively. I'm going to not switch in Heatran right now, even though I know that Bullet Punch is probably coming, because I just wanted to do whatever I could to make sure I didn't get hacks out of a win or I didn't do something stupid. So I'm sorry about this, guys. It's a pretty boring style of play, but it was effective and it really showed what Gliscor is capable of, and it worked. So again, Porygon 2's dead, or not Porygon 2, Porygon Z's dead from Stealth Rocks, and then he's got Flygon. It's going to kill me with Outrage, but I've got Heatran to resist it. I've got Hitmontop with Mach Punch and Sucker Punch, and I've got Staraptor who's banded and has Intimidate. So that's the end of the game. I could send in anything I wanted to, but I decided to Quick Attack right here because, again, I was doing whatever I could to make sure I didn't get, locked with a critical hit out of a win or something like that. If he just started critting everything and went on a rampage, then I'd be prepared with priority. So I do actually finish him off with Staraptor, so that's nice. Anyway, that's the end of the game. I'm moving on to round 3. Thanks for the game, Lucario. And that's it for me.